Hello everyone, this is Ghost Hunter Joe. Welcome to yet another one of my amateur ghost hunting videos. For those who didn't know, in January 2023, I started working at the Licking County Justice Center in Newark, Ohio. In February 2023, I had to testify before the Licking County Grand Jury after an inmate assaulted me. On my drive home from Newark to Mansfield, Ohio, I noticed this little cemetery along the roadside on State Route 13 and had to stop and take pictures. This little cemetery is known as the Holler Cemetery and has just 5 graves, or at least just 5 headstones. The main headstone is for John Sparks, and I assume that the others are for members of his family. The Ohio Historical Society erected this historical marker in 2003, commemorating the burial place for trailblazer and frontiersman John Sparks. According to the marker, John Sparks was a guide, scout, and hunter for American explorer Zebulon Pike along the Mississippi River in the southwestern United States, and spent his later years living on the north banks of the Licking River and walking barefoot around Newark. I thought to myself that this little cemetery would be an interesting place to investigate during warmer temperatures. John Sparks was one of Newark's first settlers. He was a large, bald man and was known for walking around barefoot and carrying a fishing pole. According to those who knew him, he told everyone that he was part of the famous Lewis and Clark expeditions, but there's no record of him having ever been part of those. There was, however, a John Sparks associated with Zebulon Pike's explorations. The John Sparks associated with Zebulon Pike had several bones removed from his feet. Since this John Sparks went around barefooted, one would think that had he been the John Sparks associated with Zebulon Pike, people would have noticed the missing bones in his feet. So it is more than likely this John Sparks had heard about the other John Sparks and told everyone that he was him, not realizing that he had explored with Zebulon Pike, not Lewis and Clark. In April 2023, my godson Thomas, pictured on the left, and I decided to check out John Sparks' grave at the Holler Cemetery. We recorded the following video at John Sparks' grave. Due to the midday sun shining upon us, it was hard for us to tell if the K2 meter was lighting up. It is actually easier to see on the video than it was for us in real time. And I don't know if this is a popular spot for ghost hunting or other paranormal investigators, but upon review, I noticed that my K2 meter lit up almost immediately without my having to explain anything to Mr. Sparks regarding how he could communicate with us using the meter.
Hey John Sparks, are you here? Can you touch that meter to let us know you're here? It won't hurt you, just touch it. How about any of John Sparks' relatives? Go ahead and touch the black box that's sitting at the foot of the grave. Let us know you acknowledge us. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Well, John, I heard that you were a colorful character in the Licking County area, and you're buried here with your family. You get many visitors here? No? Well, this is a nice cemetery. You got it all to yourself. Okay, I'm going to have Thomas read a little story about you, and we're going to ask you if it was true, okay?
John Sparks was one of Newark's earliest inhabitants, calling this area his home from the late 1700s until he died in 1846. Sparks was known as having supposedly been on the Lewis and Clark expedition of 1804. Glenn Cunningham, a retired New York police sergeant, spent 10 years researching and tracking down information on Sparks. Cunningham discovered that Sparks was actually a member of the expedition team of the Zebulon Pike in 1805, who explored the mouth of the Mississippi River and later the Southwest. During the second of his expedition with Pike in 1807, Sparks was left behind twice in Colorado, having fallen victim to frostbite and later taken captive by the Spanish After escaping captivity, John Sparks returned to Lincoln County. His brother George Sparks lived in St. Louisville. Cunningham's research helped lead to the dedication of a new headstone for Sparks in Holler Cemetery, located just north of Route 13. The site was scanned with a magnetometer to validate the burials at the location. The remains of 5 people were found and 4 headstones were located and restored. All the grave markers, along with the new Sparks monument, were placed in the center of the cemetery. A ceremony was held on May 25, 2002 in Holler Cemetery to dedicate this new monument in memory of John Sparks.
Okay, John, did you hear the story that Thomas read? Was it accurate?
Right up the tree.
Were you part of the Lewis and Clark expeditions? Or did you just tell people you were? You just told people? That's what they say. They say that you were a storyteller. Were you a storyteller? Okay, do you have family buried here behind you?
They said you were actually in the Jublon Pike in 1805. Were you captured by the Spanish?
Were you captured by the Spanish? Okay, thank you.
What did he say?
He lit it up. Okay, is this your family surrounding you? I see some other headstones. Let me take a picture of them. Okay, here's one. Here's one. Here's one. And here's one. We're back to John. Okay, John, well, we don't want to take too much of your time. We just thought we'd stop and visit you, okay? Light the meter up if you want to say goodbye. Okay, goodbye.
There is no question that John Sparks was undoubtedly one of Newark, Ohio's first residents. He wasn't, however, part of the Lewis and Clark explorations, and it's doubtful that he was the John Sparks who was part of Zebulon Pike's explorations. And if he was the spirit who allegedly communicated with us through the K2 meter, he admitted as such. So is the Holler Cemetery haunted by the spirit of John Sparks or his family members? I don't know, but we did get seemingly intelligent hits with the K2 meter, which a lot of paranormal investigators believe is evidence of spirits, which are allegedly comprised of electrical energy. So for now, this is Ghost Hunter Joe saying happy hunting and see you next time.